What up, ladies and germs? Audiomatron here. So, if you've been watching any of my content lately, you've seen me playing this drum kit. You've seen me playing this cheap drum kit as opposed to this Ferrari of a drum set here. And there's a reason for that. I've been having a damn good time with it, just exploring this small kit, fixing it up, etc. Anyways, so for those of you who don't know, I'm in a hard rock band called Axiom of Maria. We don't play a ton of shows, maybe a few times a year. We'd like to play more, but kind of one of the reasons why I'm glad we don't play more is because this thing is a lot to move, okay? So if we add in the stack that normally goes on here, I have it off because I'm using the arm for something over here, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cymbals, 6 drums, this rack with all these little clamps and things that you have to screw together and put together. And then when you put all this hardware in the bag, it's super heavy, like almost heavy enough where it like takes 2 dudes to move, right? So with that in mind, I decided I wanted to try to make something that would be lightweight, easier to move, and versatile enough to play my band's music. And that's when I came up with the idea to have a gig kit. And that's where this drum set comes into play. So what we're gonna do today, I'm gonna take you through how I put together the gig kit. So what we have here is from what I can tell, early to mid 2000s, maybe 2010s, Ludwig accent combo. The Ludwig accent is a beginner or entry-level drum kit. This kit was given to me by my bandmates. Basically, our guitar player Steven had it in his house. He doesn't even remember where it came from. He gave it to our bass player Nick. I think Nick was gonna give it to his grandkids. I guess that didn't work out like he wanted it to, so he asked if I wanted it. I took it and said, yep, I'll take it. And I stashed it under a table and forgot about it for a while. So I pulled the kit out recently to play around with it, and by that point, the bass drum head had like dry rotted or something. It just started falling apart on me while I was playing it. I put these cheap heads that I got off of Temu. I think I might have showed those in another video, I can't recall. But they sounded okay, but they were still kind of, I don't know, kind of dead sounding. So I've actually seen videos from 2 different YouTubers that kind of suggest the same thing. The first one was from a sound engineer who said in the context of recording a drum set that for your toms and bass drum, you just need something that's all right because you can tune those up and make them sound good on recording, but you really want to focus on having a good snare drum. But what I took away from that was that everything else is kind of really not that important. Second one was from a guy that I've been watching a lot recently called The Cowboy Drummer, and he buys these cheap drum sets off of Facebook Marketplace, fixes them up, and like gives them away to kids who need drum sets. But he said drums are drums, and he's right. He goes and gets these crap, like throwaway kits that he pays $100 for, slaps new heads on them, tunes them up, and they sound fantastic. So that actually inspired me to do the same thing with this kit. So I took this essentially free kit, and it sounds pretty good. So anyways, like I said before, we have the Ludwig accent. All right, then I have this, this Mapex MPX 8x14 snare. I've always wanted an 8x14 snare. So I bought this a while back. It was like $127. And it sounds pretty cool. It's got a nice fat tone to it, and it doesn't break the bank. It's a good sounding snare drum for the price. So for cymbals, I wanted to try to get by with the bare minimum that I would need to play our music. So what I started off with was this pack of Vinyl Classics Custom Dart, which were actually an impulse purchase when I went to Music and Arts one day. I was gonna buy the Vinyl HCS, kind of a much larger cymbal set to go on this thing because I wanted to play this drum kit while that one was at my guitar player's house in the studio for recording I wanted something real to play. But these things looked so cool, I couldn't help myself. And like I got a discount because it was around Christmas time. And so I actually ended up getting a real good deal. It came with 16-inch crash, 20-inch ride. It came with this bonus trash crash that's not really of the dark variety. And then this 14-inch hi-hat and the ching ring. And I was blown away by the way these cymbals sounded. So they really, they add some depth to this kit. I played around with this for a while. I did another video that you can go watch where I experimented playing the intros to a couple of our songs on the kit. And as I've been playing around more since I made that video, I determined that at the bare minimum, I at least need a splash. Okay, so what this kit accomplishes, I've got my ride, which has a nice pingy bell like I'm used to on my Sabian Paragon there. This crash, which kind of, it's a good all-around sounding crash. And then this trash crash, which kind of doubles as a crash in a China cymbal. It's got a sort of China-y sound, but then it can also like sound like a crash. Somebody in the audience wouldn't be any the wiser, and it gives my ears enough if I'm like going for a China sound to where I'm like, yeah, I'll buy that, that's a China. And then the hi-hat, it sounds fantastic. I don't really use, I just put the ching ring on here earlier because I was playing around. I don't really use that. As far as heads, top heads, I went with Remo Emperors on the toms. And here in a minute, I'll play test and let you hear how they all sound. And then on the bottom, I went with Clear Ambassadors. The Mapex right now has the Remo UX head that came on it. It sounds fine. Later, I might go with like a control sound or a coated Ambassador or Emperor. Probably Emperor. I think that's what I've got on my drum over there and I like it. Granted, that's a 10 times more expensive drum than this one, but. And then on my bass drum, I actually left the Temu head because it sounds fine. However, I had a problem. So the bass drum, I noticed when I was playing it, it was actually really disappointing because I just got my Iron Cobras and I was testing them out on this. And I noticed this weird like bounce back on the head. I did a little bit of research and found out that it was because like I had the stock Ludwig head on and it didn't have a porthole and there was no muffling in there. It sounded bad as fuck, but like it was making the attack like really soft on the beater. So did a little research, found out that if I would port the head and put some muffling, that it would eliminate that. And that actually turned out to be correct. So the only thing I could find that suited my taste, which was I wanted a black head with a port in it, was this Evans, or whatever the hell this is. It's a regular Evans 1-ply ported head. Now I can put my mic inside the drum and yeah, that weird bounce back is gone and now the bass drum sounds like solid and punchy and has a good attack. Okay, so some additional criteria for this kit is that I needed things to be lightweight. So when the real drum set was still at the bandmate's house for recording, I bought a bunch of shit off of Temu to try to finish this kit off. So like for starters, I got these cymbal stands and this hi-hat stand over here. They're definitely no Gibraltar, but they work. The hi-hat stand works. The cymbal stands were like 20 bucks a piece. They're fine. And they're all extremely light. Okay, additionally, one of the things that I hate, which I don't have any way to demonstrate it now. Additionally, one of the things I hate is unscrewing goddamn wing nuts before and after a gig. That shit takes so long. I'm just sitting there like, So what I got here are these, they're called no nuts cymbal stands. I actually found those out from watching Cowboy Drummer. They allow you to just straight up like set your cymbals down and you're done. No damn wing nuts or anything. So I got them on everything. I even liked them so much I got them on, you know, my real drum set as well. I did find that if you just set the cymbal straight down on the thing, it kind of chokes it out a little bit. So I put the felts back on and the cymbals ring out just fine. So an additional W here, Like, I do actually have the other drum that goes with it. I bought it after the fact. It was only like the 3 drums that my bandmates gave me, and I couldn't stand to know that like it was an incomplete set, so I bought that 13-inch rack tom, but I can't make it sound good, like in the context of this kit, so I'm not using it, and I don't want to anyway, because the goal here is to carry less stuff, and 5 drums is approaching 6 drums, right? So, what I was able to do with the hole that normally would be filled by the tom arm was to stick this Gibraltar cymbal arm in to hold the splash cymbal. So there's another win. No cymbal stand needed for that splash cymbal. So folks, that's basically it. That's my gig kit. Some additional things. Right now I'm using the DW 4000 double bass drum pedal on here. I really don't like it, but I actually have made some adjustments to make it where I like it a little more than I did. I'm probably going to use my Tama Iron Cobra double bass drum pedal. Not probably, I am, because that thing is sick. And it's expensive, and I want to get my money's worth out of it. And it comes with a case that I can use to carry it instead of just like grabbing it by the bar in the middle and throwing it in the back of my car. So yep, that's the gig kit. This will be one in a series of videos about this kit, because I've really enjoyed. I enjoy something about taking like old things that like nobody cares about and making something. Like I made, when I was really into cycling, I like made an old Peugeot, like early 1980s Peugeot road bike. Like I took the frame and like bought all the period correct parts. So it was fun putting this together and making a functional instrument out of it. Next video I do will actually like time the teardown, load in, load out, and setup of these kits to see if this makes any difference, but I have a feeling that it will. This seems like a lot less crap. Like I think I'm gonna actually be able to pick up my hardware bag by myself. So anyways, let me let you hear how it sounds. I'm using my one MXL mic and my one bass drum mic that I use in all of my videos. But tonally, like I've gotten good sounds out of these toms. They definitely don't have the depth or richness that the DW ones do, but like in a crowded bar, who gives a fuck? Like nobody's gonna be paying attention to that. So anyway, check it out. Anyway, make sure to like and subscribe, and please comment if there's anything about this that you have questions about, or if there's any kind of content you want to see here. And yeah.